Hello, grade 12s. So this is now part 2. So I'm literally just carrying on straight into it from what I did with the previous video, carrying on with our sex-linked inheritance. But just as a reminder, so remember this is what we did previously. We took a normal homozygous female who was X little x big B, X big B. Remember we subscript or superscript the letters, who was only going to create these potential eggs because they are both the same. And we crossed her with a colorblind male. So he was then X little by with the following types of sperm that could be created. He either has the X with the mutation and the Y. Nothing carried on the Y. It is an X-linked disorder. So the Y is blank. No letters at the Y. So when we were combining these, we would either get a normal male, because he only inherited one version, but that's the normal version, not mutated, or we got a carrier female. So she's got heterozygous for the colorblindness. She's normal and colorblind, law of dominance. She is still normal, but she is then a carrier, and because it is XX, she is a female. Okay, so that's where we finished off in the last video. Now we're going to ask the question, what would the possibility be of a carrier female for colorblindness having offspring with a normal male? So, we're going to follow our 6-step procedure as we would normally do for a Punnett square question. So you will be asked to use a Punnett square. Same things, what will the genotype ratio be? What will the phenotype ratio be? And I will ask the probability question, what is the probability that you will get a colorblind child? I'm saying here for now. So, step 1, we've already assigned letters. So we've said let capital B represent the normal gene, and we're going to let little letter b represent the colorblindness gene. So then step 1 is identify the parent genotypes. So what will a carrier female and what will a normal male be? So the normal male will be X big B Y. Remember, we've written it as subscript here or superscript, slightly smaller than the X. Remember, this represents a whole chromosome. This is just one gene. But he's male, normal, he only has one of them. What will the carrier female be? She is X big B and X little b, because she's a carrier. She has one of them, but not affected. She's not homozygous normal, carrier. Right, those are the parents' genotypes. So what we've done here is we've already separated the gametes. We draw the Punnett square. So we're going to be looking now. We're doing this both at the same time. So if we look in the first square here, what is the genotype going to be? It is going to be X big B, X big B. That therefore represents a normal female. I'm just doing this on the side so you can follow this at the same time. What's going to be in this block? X big B Y. That therefore represents a normal male, like the father. What's going to be in this square? X big B, X little b. That then is what you can either refer to it as a carrier female, but she will also be normal female because she is not affected. And then the last square is going to be X little b Y, which is therefore a colorblind male. Now note, when I was doing my phenotypes, I included whether it is male or female. You can't just say normals and affecteds in this. You have to include the gender of each of these as well. So that's the filling out of the Punnett square. So when I move on now to go and do my genotype ratio, I now have to do each individually. It's not normal and affected. It is, or with just big B. I now have, it is 1 X big B is to 1 X big B X little b is to 1 X big B Y is to 1 X little b Y. So each of them is different. So as much as we've got, because you've got the B's here, when you look at the male here, there's only one B. So I can't even say that there's two versions of this one, because it's only one B here. Same with the colorblind male here. He only has one small b. So that is why each of them is individually unique based on the ratio. So generally with these X-linked ones, a lot of the times you will get one of each of them. Now, what is the phenotype ratio? The phenotype ratio, there's two ways we can do this. We can either represent it as 2 normal females is to 1 normal male is to 1 affected male. Or the other way is saying 1 normal female, 1 carrier female, 1 normal male to 1 affected male. The IEB doesn't quite like it when you use carrier, although some places you'll see that they can say 1 normal, 1 carrier. I would recommend getting used to saying just 2 normal. Just keep the concept of a carrier as something that helps you identify the genotype. Try not to include it in your phenotype ratio. Just keep it as normal, because essentially they are. The condition is not carrier. Carrier doesn't necessarily mean anything. Normal is what? Is she colorblind or not? No. Therefore, she's normal. That's what we refer to there. The probability question there for me, if I ask you, what is the probability the offspring will be colorblind? In that question, it is then 25%. If I asked you, what is the probability that their male offspring will be colorblind? Then the answer becomes 50%. Why? Because there's only 2 male versions that can happen. And of those 2, 1 is colorblind. So 1 of 2 is 50%. So please make sure you are reading very carefully in terms of these questions for what the probability question is going to be. So as a summary, remember you have to include the X's, Y's, and the letters that you are representing for the genotype. For the phenotype, you must also include whether the individual is going to be male or female, as well as normal and affected on top of that. So you're combining 2 things together. This is why it becomes a bit more difficult. So I'm going to make sure you go back over this video to see how I combined with this slightly different version. In the next video, I'm just going to do a couple of overall examples for autosomal, sex-linked, all those kind of things, just so we can have something to remember. So go over this, make sure you remember, and then we'll take it from there. Thanks very much, guys.